Today we're taking you to the Middle East, in the country of Jordan, at the Israeli border to see the location where Jesus was baptized. It's also known as Bethany beyond the Jordan. It was such a humbling experience to see where John the Baptist baptized Jesus in the River Jordan. So please take a load off and come with me as I take you back to biblical times to explore this holy ground. This is Phil, and my mission is very simple. Travel around the world as much as I can and immerse myself in different cultures, relax, and see places that I've only seen on the TV, the internet, or even magazines. I've been traveling since my early 20s and I've never documented my experiences, so I figured, well, it's better late than never. And I am super blessed that I've been able to wine and dine 40,000 feet in the sky and travel to places I never thought I'd be able to see. And I also want to share them with all of you. So stay with me as I share this next adventure with Passport Planet. So I started my journey from Amman, which is the capital of Jordan. I rented a car and it took about an hour to get there to the Welcome Center, which wasn't too bad. And I could tell you firsthand that the drive was not hard at all once you got outside the city. And you really get to see the Middle East. It looks like, as you can see here in these videos. I totally recommend renting a car, as you really get to experience to see everything at your own pace. But if you're somebody who wants to take a bus, that's okay too, because I could totally understand that, because it's a lot more stress-free and you can relax. All right, so I just got here from Amman. I'm at the baptism site of Jesus Christ, and it took about an hour from Amman to get here to the visitor center, which is right behind me here. And I'm here. It is now the 29th of November, so it's not too bad. It's probably in the 60s right now. When I left Amman, it was about like 50. So for whatever the reason, it's a lot warmer here, which I'm not complaining about. But it was a very interesting drive to get here. Between the different little villages. I drove my rental car, which was a little daunting leaving the city of Amman. Definitely a free-for-all of traffic and everything else, but it wasn't too bad. You know, coming from New York, where I'm used to driving in all types of traffic, it wasn't too bad. So when I got here to the visitor center, I was checked in and showed them my Jordan pass, and they scanned it and they explained everything to me of how long it was going to be. It's about an hour and a half total. We're taking a tour bus. I'm sorry, not a tour bus, a small little bus. It's really a big van, and we're going to go to, I believe, 10 different sites. And yeah, so we'll see how it goes. So there's two important things I want to touch base on. The first one is, if you have the Jordan Pass, which I totally recommend, by the way, if you're going to be visiting a lot of other sites around Jordan. And if you have the pass, it's only an extra $12 US, and without it, it's about $16 US. And also bring some kind of bug repellent, because the flies here are really bad, and it's all over around the Dead Sea as well. So as you enter the Welcome Center, I felt it was really important to take this video of this map, which really showcases the whole area of the baptism site and all the places that we'll be visiting. So for people that don't know the geography of the area, which I didn't, the Jordan River separates Israel and Jordan. And it's also important to know right here that since you're looking at the map, this whole area after the 1967 war with Israel and Jordan, the region was closed to the public and was a strict military site, and was riddled with thousands of landmines and remained under Israel occupation until 1994. And in that year, Jordan and Israel signed a peace treaty. Excavations of all the landmines and archaeological studies marred the national park to be open to the public until 2002. And during that time frame from 94 to 2002, they found thousands of artifacts during their archaeological digs. And it was really incredible just to be a glass case away from touching these different coins during the biblical times. And I couldn't help to wonder if any of Jesus' disciples had their hands on any of these coins at all. So I did have a lot of time to kill, so I just figured that this was a perfect opportunity to take some videos, to walk around, show some more artifacts, and to explore a little bit about the history of Bethany beyond Jordan. The relics that were found in their digs were just so unbelievable. Just like this stone, sculpture that was found in the year 2000. It's really hard to believe that you could actually go in and touch these rocks, even though I didn't, and what these rocks have seen and witnessed during those biblical times. And of course, there's been controversy between Israel and Jordan of where Jesus was actually baptized. Was it on the Israeli side of the Jordan River, or was it on the Jordan side? I'll get into that in a little bit, but the Jordan site has been recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site due to many archaeological findings, and many top church officials claim that Jordan side of the Jordan River is where Jesus was actually baptized. Although Israel has many more tourists, believe it or not. Israel gets roughly around 750,000 visitors a year to their side of the Jordan River compared to 250,000 visitors who visit Jordan side. And here you can see the Jordanian Tourism Council showcases all the dignitaries and monarchs from around the world who had visited the Jordan site of where Jesus was baptized. There was a lot of them. And here I thought was pretty cool, Roman era and Jesus era artifacts that they found, from cups to different bowls during their diggings. Finally, we boarded the minibus and we were headed to the first stop with our tour guide and about 17 of us on board. And this is what he had to say when we did our first stop.
From here 30 kilometers and Mount Nebo again 30 kilometers. We are in the middle, center of the pilgrim's path. Jericho 7 kilometers, Dead Sea 7 kilometers. I mean the site where Jesus Christ was baptized, it's the center of the pilgrim's path. The pilgrims in Byzantine period started from Jerusalem to Jericho across river. The pilgrims prayed in the site where Christ was baptized, continued to sleep one night in Elijah's hill. After Elijah's hill, the pilgrims continued to Mount Nebo, where Moses stood there and see Holy Land. After Mount Nebo, the pilgrims continued to Macarius, where John the Baptist was beheaded. Now every year we have 6 January Catholic Day and 19th January Orthodox Day. The patriarch from both sides stood face to face in Jordan River when we go now, and the patriarch, they have a huge cross and they bless the cross in the water.
Inside the baptism site museum, there were some older relics, but not like what we saw in the Welcome Center. A lot of these items here were from the 19th and 20th century. I hung out in here for a few minutes, and then we took a walk down to the path which ultimately led down to the baptism site. And because it gets so stifling hot out in the summer months, they provided a nice walkway with an overhang to protect the tourists from the sun. But since I was here in the end of November and it was in the 60s, I really didn't need it at all. There's one thing that I want to add that I think is really also super important. This whole area is heavily guarded by the Jordanian army, and you can't just walk off the tour and walk around on your own, or you will be stopped by a uniformed soldier. And I think that's why they made the walkway, so you don't deviate from the path. And before we went down to the baptism site, here's where the Jordan River used to be many, many years ago. And as time passed, the Jordan River has dried up to a small river, and you could pretty much call it a big stream.
It's like snake, sinuous river. I mean, now these trees belong to Jericho, and that church in Jordan. So the river go like us to West Church. The church in East, the trees in West. Before 67, this edge of river used to be to here, full of water. In your eyes, you can see normal level. After war, Israel diverted the water from Tiberias Lake and water to Nakab Desert. The level is water go down. I mean, I want to tell you, the river now, not the river in time of Christ. In time of Christ, big river, huge river. In the Bible, the whole area called Bethany or Bethania, where John the Baptist lived. Now we continue to the site where Jesus Christ was baptized, move to that church, and they touch water in the river.
And here it is. I can't believe I'm seeing this finally from my very own eyes. Right at the very bottom here is where theologians and biblical testimonies have placed where Jesus was baptized. And there are many different passages by people that have accounted of where the location actually is, and here it stands. And there are many different accounts that I could show you and explain, but for time's sake, I'll just give you 2 quotes. One is by this French bishop, Arculfus, that said this: "At the edge of the river is a small square church. built, as is said, on a spot where the garments of the Lord were taken care of at the time he was baptized. This is raised as to be uninhabitable on 4 stone vaults, standing above the waters which flow below. And just 100 years prior, Antoninus of Italy said this: "By the side of the Jordan, where the Lord was baptized, at the place where the water returned to its bed, marble steps descend into the water."
Where Jesus Christ was baptized, where the spring meet the river, like T-shaped down here, the site where Christ was baptized. Monks and travelers said the Christ stood face to west and eyes Christ to Jerusalem. Jerusalem now 30 kilometers. That highest mount, that Olive Mount. Straight ahead, Olive Mount 27 kilometers. Byzantine memorial, the story of the baptism. Built the chapels here. It's called Mantle Chapel. It's built on the site where Christ take off the robe. White marble. This is marble skin Carrara from Italy. No, Carrara in Middle East. It's built on the site where Christ walked. The steps continue to the marble pool, the site where Christ was baptized. Christ baptized in the river. I mean river before 2000 years, not short the river now. Now we continue to the second and third church. We see it. We move the river to touch water and back in another way. The tour like a circle. We never back here again.
And here you can see the remains of the pillars of where the church once stood, so that when the Jordan River did flood over, it wouldn't flood into the church itself. And here's what remains of the Jordan River, which is really just a big stream nowadays. And you can see on the other side is where Israel is. And as we wrapped up the tour, I have to say this was such a surreal experience, being on the grounds of where civilization started and how important this river played in the Bible. And the only thing that would have topped off this experience was that if I organized to actually be baptized in the Jordan River, which you can do, but putting my hands in there was good enough. And if you plan on visiting Jordan and you believe in Jesus or any part of the Christian faith, this is a must-see. This experience was so humbling, and I felt like it was like a pilgrimage. And again, if you like this video, hit the like and subscribe button, because this is just one of many videos that are coming out in the near future. This is Passport Planet, and I'll see you in the next video.